Ladies and gentlemen, today I come before you with a message that carries the weight of hope, the promise of purpose, and the assurance of divine intervention. This is not merely a speech, it is a declaration of faith, a call to believe beyond what you see, and an invitation to step into a destiny that has been carefully orchestrated for you by the Creator Himself. I want to remind you that no matter where you are in life right now, whether you're in a valley of struggle or standing at the edge of breakthrough, God will launch you to new heights. There is a divine force working behind the scenes of your life, one that never sleeps, never forgets, and never gives up on you. That force is God. And while life may sometimes feel stagnant and progress may seem slow or even non-existent, I urge you to trust in the timing and the strategy of the one who holds the blueprint of your life. You were never meant to stay grounded. You were designed to rise, to soar, to achieve, and to reflect the greatness of the one who created you. Oftentimes, the launch to new heights requires a period of stillness. Like a rocket on the launch pad, there are moments when it seems nothing is moving, when everything is just noise and countdowns. But in that stillness, preparation is taking place. Systems are being tested. Integrity is being proven. Strength is being built. You see, God does not launch what is not prepared. He does not elevate what is not stable. Before He takes you to new heights, He will fortify your foundation so that when you rise, you will not crumble under the pressure of altitude. Some of you have been waiting for a long time. You've been praying, hoping, working, and waiting. And in the waiting, doubt has tried to creep in. You've asked yourself, why hasn't it happened yet? But let me tell you this, delay is not denial. God is not ignoring you. He is aligning things. He is orchestrating connections. He is positioning people and opportunities. What looks like a pause is actually divine strategy. It's not that God doesn't want to bless you. It's that He wants the blessing to be so complete, so undeniable, and so impactful that when it comes, it changes everything. And when that launch happens, it will be sudden, it will be powerful, it will be unmistakable. Doors that were once closed will fly open. People who overlooked you will wonder where you came from. Opportunities that were previously out of reach will suddenly be at your doorstep. Why? Because when God launches you, no one can stop it. No one can delay it. No one can sabotage it. Not even you, if you remain obedient and faithful to His process. But this promise is not just about personal success. It's about purpose. It's about impact. God lifts you up so that you can lift others. He blesses you so you can become a blessing. The higher He takes you, the greater your influence, and the more He expects you to reflect His light. So when the elevation comes, remember to stay grounded in humility. Remember where you came from. Remember who brought you there. For it is not by might nor by power, but by His Spirit. Sometimes we look at the lives of others and wonder why their launch seemed faster, smoother, or more glamorous. We fall into the trap of comparison, but let me encourage you today. Your journey is tailor-made. Your launch is unique. You are not late. You are not forgotten. The timing of your life is written by the author of time itself, and He is never early, never late, always on time. Don't let someone else's highlight reel make you question your own process. Stay focused. Stay faithful. Stay expectant. You may ask, what do I do while I wait for God to launch me? You prepare. You sharpen your skills. You deepen your faith. You surround yourself with people who challenge and uplift you. You speak life over your dreams even when they seem dormant. You act with integrity when no one is watching. You build in the dark, knowing that your time in the spotlight is coming. You praise God not just for what He's done, but for what He's about to do. Because worship in the waiting builds the wings you'll need to fly. For some, the launch will come after a season of loss, after heartbreak, after rejection, after failure. But don't you know that some rockets must first shed their extra weight before they can soar? What you thought was a setback was really a separation. God was removing what could not go with you to the next level. He was clearing the path. He was refining your character. He was breaking chains that would have held you back. Don't mourn what God removed. Rejoice for what He's making room for. Others may be feeling the pressure of trials, the heat of opposition, or the burden of responsibility, and it feels like too much. But let me remind you, pressure precedes launch. Resistance creates lift. When you feel like giving up, when everything seems too heavy, know that it's a sign that you're closer than ever. The enemy wouldn't fight you this hard if you weren't on the verge of something significant. Don't quit. Don't shrink back. Push forward. Pray harder. Stand stronger. You are being prepared for liftoff. And when you finally take off, you will look back and see how every delay, every detour, every disappointment was actually divine redirection. You'll see that nothing was wasted, not one tear, not one closed door, not one lonely night. All of it was used to shape the vessel that could handle the altitude, because rising comes with responsibility. Favor comes with weight, and God, in His wisdom, doesn't just want you to go high. He wants you to stay there. He wants you to thrive there. And that requires maturity, patience, and trust. So don't despise the process. Embrace it. Don't resist the preparation. Honor it. Because your new height is not just about elevation. It's about transformation. It's about becoming the version of you that your calling requires. It's about stepping into a higher realm of influence, authority, and purpose. And when that happens, the world will not only see your success, they'll see your Savior. God doesn't launch people to show off. He launches them to show forth His glory, to demonstrate what's possible when someone surrenders fully, believes boldly, and walks faithfully. And if He did it for others, He will do it for you. He is not a respecter of persons. His promises are for all who believe. So believe, speak life, walk in expectation. Let your heart be filled with hope again. Let your dreams breathe again. Let your vision expand again. This is not the end. It's not even the middle. It's the beginning of a new season, a launching season. And when you take off, take others with you. Share your testimony. Mentor someone. Lift someone up. Remind them that if God could do it for you, He can do it for them too. Because the true measure of success is not how high you go, it's how many people you help rise along the way. Be the kind of leader, friend, and believer who doesn't just fly alone, but builds a runway for others to follow. As I bring this message to a close, I want to speak directly to the dreamer who has almost given up, to the worker who's tired, to the visionary who's discouraged. I want you to lift your head, lift your faith, lift your eyes to the hills from where your help comes. God sees you. He hears you. He has not forgotten you. And even now, He is preparing to do exceedingly, abundantly above all that you could ask or think. You were created for more. You were destined to fly. You were chosen to rise. And your launch is closer than you think. So get ready, not just emotionally or physically, but spiritually. Clear the runway, release the past, forgive where needed, heal where necessary, and trust that the God who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. You are not here by accident. You are not dreaming in vain. You are not hoping without cause. There is a divine assignment on your life, and it's about to take flight. God will launch you to new heights, not for your glory, but for His. And when He does, the world will see not just what you've become, but what He has done. Stay faithful, stay ready. The countdown has already begun. Your moment is coming. And when it arrives, nothing and no one will be able to stop the power of God in your life. So rise, soar, launch. God is with you. And He's taking you higher than you ever imagined. Just like a rocket cannot be launched until every system has been tested, calibrated, and approved, God does not elevate you before He prepares you. Elevation without preparation is dangerous. It may look exciting to rise fast, but without the internal foundation to sustain the weight of responsibility, influence, and visibility, that elevation can become a fall. God, in His wisdom and mercy, doesn't rush the process. He is more concerned with who you're becoming than how fast you get there. Preparation always precedes elevation. And what happens in the unseen is just as important, if not more important, than what eventually becomes visible to the world. There are seasons in life where it feels like everything is at a standstill. You're doing the right things, showing up, praying, serving, waiting, and yet nothing seems to be shifting. You might be tempted to think you've been forgotten, overlooked, or delayed. But in those quiet seasons, in those hidden places, God is doing His most important work in you. He is testing your heart, building your endurance, refining your motives and strengthening your faith. He's shaping the vessel so that it can carry the weight of the future blessing without breaking. We live in a world that celebrates speed, instant results, overnight success, rapid promotions, but the kingdom of God is different. God's timeline is rooted in wisdom, not haste. He is not trying to get you somewhere quickly. He is trying to get you there whole. He wants your character to match your calling. He wants your integrity to support your influence. He wants you to be strong in faith, not just strong in gifting. That takes time. That takes obedience in the small, unseen things. That takes surrender when no one else is watching. Sometimes it feels like nothing is happening, but in reality, everything is happening beneath the surface. Think of a seed planted in the ground. For a while, it seems like there's no progress, but underground, roots are forming, structure is being established, and life is taking shape. If you dig it up too soon, you kill what was meant to grow. That's how our lives are sometimes. You may feel buried, but you're really being planted. You may feel hidden, but you're being protected. God is giving you roots before he gives you wings. During these seasons of preparation, your responsibility is to stay faithful, show up even when no one notices, do the right thing even when there's no applause, build your craft, deepen your walk with God, heal what needs healing, let him deal with your insecurities, your fears, your pride, your wounds, because those things cannot go with you to the next level. What you don't surrender in private will sabotage you in public. The quiet season is not punishment, it's grace. It's an opportunity to grow without pressure, to be shaped without exposure, to be made strong without the noise. And when the time is right, when your heart is ready, when your spirit is mature, when your motives are purified, God will do what only he can do. He will lift you, and it will be obvious that it was him. The launch will not be something you orchestrated. It will be a divine act that leaves no doubt. But the strength of your elevation will be sustained by the depth of your preparation. The hidden season will have given you the roots to survive the storm, the wisdom to steward the success, and the humility to remember who brought you there. So, don't despise the preparation. Don't rush the process. Don't measure your progress by visibility or applause. The deeper the work, the higher the launch. God is building you for something greater than you imagine, and he's not in a hurry. He is a master builder. Every delay has a purpose. Every quiet moment is intentional. Every test is an opportunity to grow. And when he says it's time, nothing and no one will be able to stop the liftoff. Hold on to your faith. Stay in the process. Keep your heart open, your hands clean, and your spirit teachable, because what feels like waiting is actually working. What feels like silence is preparation, and what seems like nothing is setting you up for everything. Your launch is coming, but only after your preparation is complete. Trust the process. God is faithful. He will not leave you in the waiting. He will raise you at the right time, in the right way, for the right reason. Sometimes in life, we find ourselves in seasons where everything seems to be on pause. Prayers go unanswered, doors stay closed, and the dreams we carry feel like they are growing distant instead of closer. We begin to wonder if God has forgotten us or if perhaps we were wrong to believe in the first place. But the truth is, delay is not denial. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. God's timing is not like ours. His thoughts are higher, his vision clearer, and his purpose eternal. What feels like a delay to us is often part of his greater plan, a plan rooted in wisdom, precision, and perfect alignment. When we experience delay, it is easy to interpret it through the lens of frustration or disappointment. We might assume that silence from heaven means rejection, or that closed doors mean we've done something wrong. But God's delays are not punishments, they are protections. They are pauses that allow space for preparation, healing, growth, and alignment. God is not just interested in getting you to your destination. He's interested in making sure you're ready when you arrive. If you open the door too soon, you might not be equipped to handle it. If he gave you what you asked for without preparation, it could overwhelm rather than bless you. Behind every delay is divine activity. While you wait, God is working. He's orchestrating connections, moving hearts, and arranging circumstances. You may not see it, but he's aligning the people you need to meet, the resources you'll require, and the opportunities that will carry your purpose forward. Timing in God's kingdom isn't just about when, it's also about who how, and why. God sees the entire picture, and sometimes the delay is about someone else getting into position or about a piece of the puzzle falling into place. Your waiting is not in vain. It's connected to a much larger narrative. It's also important to recognize that delay tests and strengthens our faith. It forces us to depend on God rather than outcomes. It deepens our trust in His character rather than in our own timeline. When you can still believe even when nothing seems to be happening, that's when your faith matures. When you can keep showing up, keep praising, keep working, even while doors remain closed, that's when your trust in God becomes unshakable. Delay refines you. It exposes what's in your heart, whether you're truly surrendered or still trying to control the outcome. And in that refining, God is not only preparing the promise for you, He's preparing you for the promise. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually God's way of sparing you from a shortcut that would have led to disaster. We live in a culture that celebrates speed, fast results, instant success, immediate answers, but in God's economy, speed is not the priority, sustainability is. God isn't interested in giving you a temporary win. He wants to establish something lasting in your life, and lasting things take time. They take deep roots, stable foundations, and strong character. That's why delay is often a sign of God's love. He is more concerned about your long-term success than your short-term gratification. It's also important to hold on to the truth that a delay does not change God's promise. His word does not expire. What He spoke over your life still stands. His yes is still yes, even if the timing hasn't arrived. Just because the door hasn't opened yet doesn't mean it never will. Sometimes God allows delays to draw us closer to Him. In the waiting, we pray more. We seek Him more. We lean on Him more deeply. The relationship becomes more intimate, and our identity becomes more rooted in Him rather than in our achievements. And that in itself is a great blessing. Eventually, when the time is right, things will begin to move, often suddenly. What seemed stuck will start flowing. What felt impossible will begin to unfold with ease. And you'll look back on the season of delay and realize it wasn't a setback, it was set up. It wasn't wasted time, it was holy preparation. You'll see how God spared you from things you didn't even know were dangerous. You'll realize He didn't just answer your prayer, He exceeded it. And you'll thank Him not just for the blessing, but for the timing of the blessing. So hold on, keep believing, keep preparing. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Delay is not the end of your story, it's a chapter that leads to fulfillment. Trust God's process, trust His heart. He is never late, never confused, and never out of options. He knows exactly what He's doing, and when the moment is right, nothing and no one will be able to stop what He has ordained for you. Delay is not denial. It's divine timing, and your moment is coming. In a world constantly measuring success by comparison, it's easy to fall into the trap of evaluating our lives based on someone else's timeline. We scroll through social media, see people achieving milestones, hitting goals, stepping into success, and we start to question our own progress. Thoughts like, I should be further by now, or why is it happening for them and not for me, begin to creep in. But the truth is, your journey is not supposed to look like theirs. Your path is custom designed by God, carefully crafted with your purpose, your calling, your timing, and your unique experiences in mind. What God is doing in your life is specific to you, and comparing your path to someone else's only clouds your perspective and steals your peace. God never intended for you to be a copy. You are an original creation with a distinct purpose that no one else on this earth can fulfill. Just as no two fingerprints are the same, no two callings, no two destinies, and no two life paths are identical. He didn't create you to fit into someone else's mold. He created you to walk out a journey that brings Him glory through your unique gifts, your unique experiences, and even your unique challenge. The timing, the process, the victories, and even the setbacks are all part of a divine plan tailored just for you. And because of that, you must trust the process, even when it doesn't resemble what others are going through. There's danger in comparison because it distorts truth. When you compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, you set yourself up for unnecessary discouragement. You don't know the full story behind someone else's success. You don't see the sacrifices they made, the struggles they endured, or the preparation that took place before their moment arrived. And even if they are being blessed, their blessing does not take anything away from you. God's abundance is not limited. His ability to bless others doesn't mean he's run out of blessings for you. In fact, seeing others succeed should encourage you, not discourage you. It's proof that God is still moving and that your time is coming too. When you start embracing the uniqueness of your journey, you stop rushing. You stop striving to keep up with others and start resting in God's plan. You begin to see delays not as setbacks, but as opportunities for growth and preparation. You recognize that the path may look different, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. Some people reach their calling quickly, while others take a longer, more winding route. But both journeys are valid. Some people experience early success, while others bloom later in life. But both are equally significant. The beauty of your journey is not in how fast you get there, but in who you become along the way. Your path may include trials others never face. It may involve responsibilities, pain, or lessons that seem unfair at times. But those very experiences are shaping something in you that others may never carry. There are depths of wisdom, compassion, and strength that can only be forged through fire. And when you stop wishing for someone else's life, you start uncovering the power in your own. You begin to see that your journey, with all its highs and lows, is preparing you for something specific and meaningful. God's timing for your life is perfect. He's never in a hurry, and he's never late. Everything he does is intentional. When you trust his schedule, you no longer feel pressured to force things. You learn to move with peace instead of panic, with confidence instead of comparison. You stop trying to prove yourself to the world because you already know you're approved by God. And when you walk in that truth, you begin to celebrate your own pace. You realize that the same God who ordered the steps of others is also ordering yours, and he has not forgotten a single detail. So if you're feeling behind, left out, or unnoticed, I want to encourage you. You are not missing out. You are not too late. You are not falling short. You are exactly where you need to be for where God is taking you. Your journey may be different, but it is divine. Trust the path, trust the timing, trust the one who created both, and know that when God launches you, it will be in a way that reflects the uniqueness of your journey. It will make sense why you had to go through what you did. It will be clear that it was never about keeping up. It was about becoming. There are times in life when the pressure feels almost unbearable. Everything seems to be closing in. Circumstances are tightening. Relationships are straining. Responsibilities are growing heavier. And the emotional weight becomes exhausting. You start to question whether you're on the right path, whether the dream is worth holding on to, and whether you have the strength to keep going. But what you may not realize in those moments is that pressure is often the clearest sign that you are close to something significant. It means you're nearing breakthrough. It means that something is about to shift. The closer you get to liftoff, the more resistance you may feel. That's not a reason to quit. That's confirmation that you're carrying something powerful. Think of a rocket preparing for launch. The final moments before liftoff are the most intense. The pressure builds, the heat increases, the noise rises, but all of that force is necessary to break the atmosphere. Without pressure, there is no propulsion. Without resistance, there is no forward movement. And it's the same in your life. That pressure you feel is not a sign of failure, it's evidence of purpose. It's a sign that God is about to launch you into a new season, and everything you're experiencing right now is pushing you toward that moment. If you weren't carrying something of value, the enemy wouldn't bother you. You wouldn't be facing opposition if there wasn't something powerful on the other side. The resistance you feel isn't just life being difficult, it's spiritual. The pressure is coming because there's destiny in you. There's purpose, influence, and impact inside of you. And darkness always tries to fight what carries the light. So if you're under attack, if you feel surrounded, if you're weary from the battle, take heart. It's not because you're weak, it's because you're dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You are on the verge of something greater than what you can currently see. Sometimes pressure comes in the form of external circumstances, financial stress, health issues, workplace challenges, or relationship conflicts. Other times, the pressure is internal. Anxiety, fear, insecurity, or self-doubt. But no matter how it shows up, the goal of pressure is the same: to either break you or to build you. The good news is that when you're anchored in God, pressure can't destroy you. It refines you. It develops your endurance. It strengthens your resolve. It teaches you how to pray deeper, how to stand firmer, how to trust more completely. You begin to see that the pressure isn't the end, it's the process. There's a unique clarity that comes when you're under pressure. You learn what matters. You learn who's really with you. You learn how to depend on God in ways you never had to before. And most importantly, you discover how resilient your spirit really is. That resilience is what's preparing you for what's ahead. Because the height God is taking you to will come with more responsibility, more visibility, and more spiritual opposition. So the pressure you feel now is training for the elevation you're about to step into. Don't run from it. Let it work in you. Let it form you. Let it bring out the strength that was already planted inside you by God Himself. There is always a temptation to quit when the pressure gets intense. The enemy would love for you to walk away, to give up, to settle for less, just when you're on the edge of breakthrough. But you must remember that what you're finding through now is nothing compared to the glory that's coming. Every tear, every sleepless night, every silent prayer has been seen by God. He is not ignoring your pain. He is using it. He is collecting every moment and turning it into something greater than you imagine. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to dig in, to remind yourself of the promises God has spoken, to declare His word over your life even when you don't feel it, to keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time. The pressure is proof that something is about to break open. You are not far from your breakthrough. You are not far from the door opening. You are not far from the answer to the prayer you've been praying for so long. So don't let the pressure intimidate you. Let it prepare you. Don't interpret resistance as rejection. See it as refinement. You're being shaped, strengthened, and positioned. What you're going through now is going to give you the power to sustain what's coming next. Your character is being built. Your faith is being stretched. And when the moment comes when God launches you forward, you'll be ready not just to rise, but to stay there. The pressure won't crush you. It's making you. Breakthrough is near. Hold on. When God elevates a person, it is never random, accidental, or without purpose. It is intentional, strategic, and deeply spiritual. Elevation from God carries weight, and with that weight comes responsibility. The blessing of being lifted, promoted, or placed in a position of influence is not just for personal gain or comfort. It is a divine assignment meant to reflect His character, advance His purpose, and bless others through you. When God chooses to launch someone into a new level, He is also expecting that person to carry the values of humility, integrity, and purpose with them. Elevation is not just about what you achieve. It's about how you handle what has been given to you. God does not elevate people simply because they are talented or charismatic. He looks at the heart. He looks for those who can steward His favor without letting pride take root. Humility becomes the foundation of lasting elevation. It's the ability to remember where you came from, even when you're standing in a place you never thought you'd reach. It's keeping a servant's posture, even when you've been placed in a leadership position. Humility reminds you that the platform isn't yours. It's borrowed. The influence is not just for applause, it's for impact. When you're humble, you understand that every open door is a result of God's grace, not your personal merit, and that perspective keeps you grounded. Integrity is another non-negotiable when it comes to elevation. Influence without character is dangerous. What you build with your gifts must be supported by the strength of your morals. God is not looking to elevate people who can perform well publicly but compromise privately. He's searching for those who are the same behind closed doors as they are in front of the crowd. Integrity ensures that when pressure comes, you won't fold. When temptations arise, you won't drift. When criticism hits, you'll remain steady. The higher you go, the more visible your life becomes, and the more you are held accountable, not just by people, but by God. That's why He tests your integrity in small places before He trusts you with greater influence. Purpose is at the very center of elevation. God doesn't raise people just to make them famous. He raises them to make a difference. If your promotion doesn't help others, heal others, or inspire others, then it's not aligned with God's heart. Every time God promotes someone in Scripture, it's always connected to an assignment. Joseph was elevated to save his family and an entire nation. Esther was elevated to intercede and protect her people. David was elevated not just to be king, but to shepherd a nation in righteousness. Elevation always has purpose beyond the person. That's why it's critical to seek God for clarity once He raises you. Ask Him what He wants you to do with the influence you've been given. When God launches you, people will notice. Some will applaud and others may criticize. The spotlight may shine brighter, but that also means your life will be observed more closely. Elevation exposes you to new pressures, new responsibilities, and new battles, but it also opens the door for greater impact, greater reach, and greater glory to be given to God through your life. How you respond to the elevation will determine how long you can sustain it. If you handle it with arrogance, it may crumble, but if you carry it with wisdom and humility, God will continue to increase your capacity. It's also important to remember that elevation doesn't make you better than anyone. It just gives you a higher level of responsibility to serve. Leadership in the kingdom of God is always servant-based. The higher you go, the more people you are called to lift. The greater your platform, the more you are called to steward it in a way that honors God and benefits others. Elevation is not a trophy. It's a tool. It's not about status. It's about service. So when you sense that God is promoting you, when doors start to open and your influence begins to grow, receive it with gratitude, but also receive it with a sober mind. Know that it's not the end of the journey. It's a new beginning. It's an invitation to carry greater weight with greater wisdom. It's a call to live at a higher standard, to walk with deeper conviction, and to make decisions that reflect God's heart, not just your ambition. God launches those He can trust. So if you find yourself being lifted, know that it is because He sees something in you that aligns with His purpose. Stay humble, stay honest, stay focused. The elevation you've been given is not just about reaching new heights. It's about reaching new people and revealing God's glory through your life. True success is not measured solely by how far you go or how high you climb, but by how many people you bring along with you. When God elevates you, it's never just for your benefit. It's not just so you can enjoy the rewards, the influence, or the recognition. It's so you can become a vessel, a bridge, and a light for others who are still in the early stages of their journey. When you rise, help others rise too. That is the heart of true leadership. That is what honors God. Your elevation should become someone else's inspiration. Your breakthrough should open the door for someone else's breakthrough. If you've made it through something, if you've overcome, if you've grown or gained wisdom, don't keep it to yourself. Use it. Share it. Let your journey be a runway for someone else's launch. You don't have to be perfect to be a catalyst. You just have to be willing. People are not inspired by flawless stories. They are moved by honest ones. They're encouraged when someone who has been through pain, setbacks, doubt, or hardship reaches back and says, "I've been where you are, and you can make it too." Sometimes the very thing you thought disqualified you is the exact thing that will make your voice powerful. When you speak from experience, it resonates differently. When you lead with vulnerability, it creates space for others to heal and grow. Helping others rise doesn't always require a stage or a title. It often starts in quiet, unseen ways. Encouraging someone who's discouraged, mentoring someone who's just beginning, supporting someone who's struggling. A kind word at the right time can change a life. A testimony shared at the right moment can reignite someone's faith. Just your presence, your wisdom, or your support can become the wind beneath someone else's wings. Don't underestimate the influence you carry. You may not even realize how your story is giving someone else the courage to keep going. In God's kingdom, success is never meant to be hoarded. It's meant to be multiplied. Jesus modeled this perfectly. He poured into others, trained them, empowered them, and then sent them out to do even greater works. That same principle applies to you. When you experience favor, blessing, or elevation, it's an invitation to multiply it in the lives of others. The more you give, the more you grow. The more you share, the more impact you have. You were never meant to rise alone. Being a catalyst means choosing purpose over pride. It means being secure enough in your own identity to celebrate others, to lift them, to teach them what you've learned. It means refusing to see others as competition and instead seeing them as co-laborers in the journey. When you're confident in your calling, you're not threatened by someone else's progress. You're excited by it. You champion it. You invest in it. And in doing so, you create a legacy that outlives you. There are people who are praying right now for the very breakthrough you've already experienced. You could be the answer to their prayer, not by fixing their problems, but by showing them what's possible. Your story could be the seed that grows their hope. Your testimony could be the evidence that God is still moving, still healing, still providing, still launching people into purpose. But they won't know unless you share it. They won't see unless you show up. Being a catalyst requires intentionality. It means choosing to use what you've been given to light the path for someone else. Helping others rise doesn't diminish your success. It multiplies it. It turns your personal journey into a communal blessing. It makes your elevation meaningful beyond yourself. And in the process, you find that pouring into others actually fills you. It reminds you of where you came from. It deepens your gratitude. It keeps your heart soft, your spirit humble, and your eyes fixed on what really matters. So don't just rise, reach.